How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Are you enjoying your jump into the world of country music? Because see, I used to work at like the station down the street when we played your other music when you had the other big hits, and then now here you are in the world of country music, and I really dig it. Welcome to the party.
Well, thank you. Here we both are, I guess.
Yeah, we made the right move, I think.
Yeah, I've been trying to do country music my whole career, but my label just wouldn't. For whatever reason, they wouldn't put anything out country, even though I was putting country singles on the records. And finally, I got off that label and made this record on my own. I didn't even have a label. And it's funny because I've been recording in Nashville. Almost all my records have been cut there, and I took it to record labels in town. And they said they wanted it to be more pop. And so I was a little bit disheartened. I thought, gosh, I just won't put this out on a label. I'll just do it myself. And then I found a little label, Valerie Records. It's just a little indie label, but they helped me put it out.
It's more important that you do what you like.
I think so.
And you've had the big taste of success. It's more satisfying to do what you really like to do. I know. I feel that way.
Yeah.
Because they don't pay me squat to come.
No.
Yeah, I've been really blessed to make it as a songwriter. I didn't think it would ever work out as good as it has for me. Especially as just a singer-songwriter. I shouldn't have sold as many records as I did. I didn't think it would last this long. And it's funny because I think if You're Meant for Me came out today, it'd be a country song. We'd never put that on pop radio now.
Yeah, because I could hear Taylor Swift singing that song. A young country artist singing that song.
It's just a little shuffle, and I remember pretty much my whole career, all the producers were like, "Ooh, that sounds a little country. We gotta,
Why is that? Why is there this prejudice in the music industry? And even like we were just talking about American Idol last night, the way that even though by far the most successful people from that show, not necessarily the winners, but the most successful people from that show are all in the world of country music, yet Simon rolls his eyes every time somebody comes out and sings a country song.
But I've seen that my whole life. I grew up on a ranch in Alaska. I always had kids snickering because, I fed horses or because I milked a cow. Everybody would snicker at it. I don't know why. And then, my current boyfriend is a timer for the 10 years.
Well, we'll get into some. I want to know some of that scoop coming up.
But they've been, I've had the East and West Coast snicker at the bull ridings and the PBR, even NASCAR. I don't know why. They always think they're so much cooler, but NASCAR's kicking everybody else's butts. Bull riding is kicking everybody else's butts. Country music's kicking everybody else's butts, and people still like to snicker, so I don't know why.
More people go to NASCAR races than all the football games combined. There are more country radio stations by far than any other kind of music, yet people still, people roll their eyes and don't get it.
I know, but they're starting to get it. Country music's very healthy, and I think the other people are starting to finally see. But for me, it's just a place that I don't have to change what I'm doing. I get to tell stories. I get to be a lyric-driven artist, where that got harder and harder for me anywhere else. Don't get me wrong, I was really happy to be able to tell my stories and be successful, but it is just getting to where I kind of got edged out of that because they don't want storytelling.
Country music is the format where you can, and your songs are stories, whereas pop songs today are just repetitious. There's barely a melody.
It's sort of rhythm driven and beat driven. Yeah, which is, gosh, I'm happy for that. It's just not happening. It doesn't have to be what I do.
Your new song, there was such clamoring for it, and with today's technology, songs can leak out. If one copy of an MP3 gets out somewhere, everybody wants it all of a sudden. And your song was supposed to come out later this week, next week, something.
Next week, I think.
But they moved it up. I'm told by the guy in the suit that it's actually coming out today.
Yeah.
So then, could we officially have you sing it,
and
then that way our very first spin will be you actually singing?
That would be great.
Okay, cool. It's called Stronger Woman, and everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Jewel.
Explain first, though. This isn't a guy-bashing song. I want to get that real clear. I was raised by a single father. I have most respect for men, but men frustrate us sometimes, girls. I was listening to a comedy station, and this comedian was like, "There's only two basic male human emotions. They're either hungry or,
Yeah.
So they kind of got me off on a tangent and made me write this song. Here we go. Guess you could say I'm one of those girls. Always been with one of those guys, the type. Right now he sleeps while I write. That it's better than crying. I'm worn out from trying. From loving a man who always makes it clear I'm not welcome here. Just if he's horny or hungry. something clean, you know what I mean, but not tonight. 'Cause come the morning light, I'm gonna love myself more than anyone else. Believe in me, even if someone can't see a stronger woman in me. I'm gonna be my own best friend, stick with me till the end, won't lose myself again. Never know, 'cause there's a stronger woman, a stronger woman in me. Till the end, won't lose myself again. No, 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 'cause there's a stronger woman, a stronger woman. There's a stronger woman, a stronger woman in me.
That was Jewel live. First time we get to hear "Stronger Woman," and so that comes out today,
Yep.
and it'll be played all over the country. It'll be a #1 smash hit.
And we hope. I dream.
Songs from before, because Bo is obsessed with you and
Well, I am.
and Peen. Been doing it since
You
that
chuckle
like
every time.
I love that line. I don't know why. I just love
for
it.
like 2 weeks. He says he has like pajamas with feet and a butt flap.
I do, and I was going to wear them, but then I decided against it because I didn't want to wear that in front of Jewel.
Can I say that I applaud your decision against wearing
Oh.
those pajamas with the butt
And then the
flap?
other times I sleep naked, and I thought if I was to come naked, that wouldn't work either.
Yeah, there's children.
Yeah, cameras and stuff. That ain't good.
Now, you and Ty Murray have been together like
10 years almost.
10
9
years, really. How did you guys meet?
We met at a rodeo like most couples.
Yeah, my wife. Yeah. She was on the Bronco.
Well, she was doing the mutton busting.
Yeah, well, actually, it's kind of embarrassing. I was mutton busting,
Right.
and she was pole bending. Next thing you know,
Right.
we were behind.
That's how Kid Rock met Pamela. That's so funny.
That is
That Anyway. No, my dad, to get serious, my dad was the all-around champion in Alaska, so I grew up going to rodeos, and I rodeoed just like the chick events,
What do you mean by that? The barrel racing and
Yeah,
stuff?
and the keyhole, and just a bunch of outdoor little small rodeos. And then I heard down here in the States that they have massive rodeos. They sell 20,000 seat stadiums, and I'd never seen something like that. So my label got me tickets through their car company, who sponsored a cowboy, and that ended up being Ty. And we talked on the phone for about 9 months, and then finally had our first date after about 9 or 10 months.
Yeah, and what was your first date like?
Yeah, he took me on a camping trip. It was an all-guy camping trip, for the history of
He
the
took you on an
camping trip.
all guy
Yeah. It was our only time. I was touring a lot, and it was Cowboy Christmas that time of year, so he was rodeoing a lot. And it was both of our only time off we had at the same time, so, I'm getting teased, of course, by every other cowboy on this trip. And I didn't tell him a bunch about how I was raised. I was raised in a log cabin in a saddle barn with a coal stove for heat. We didn't have electricity. We didn't have running water. It was a really remote ranch in the remote part of the country in Alaska. So they took me on this trip, and he didn't know much about it, and I didn't tell him much about it. And he was like, "This is a fire, and it's hot." I was like, "Oh, what is the wet stuff? Is that water? This is where water comes from?" And so he teased me, and they all teased me the whole trip. And a year later, I took Ty to Alaska, and he got to see how I was raised, and it was pretty good payoff.
Like, that's a bear. That's a
Yeah.
bear.
That's a big thing.
There's a caribou.
He wondered why everybody had 45s on their hips. Like, I grew up horse riding in the mountains, and I always had a 45, 2 loaded 45s on each of my hips. It's very old-timey up there, and it was for bears, so you really run into them.
So a bear you could run into? I mean, what other critters? Like, you could be out and a bear could jump out and maul somebody? I mean,
it's a very, very wild country. Ty said it's like going back in time 100 years. There's no fences. We actually grazed all our cattle in open pastures. There's no fences up. We'd put them up in the mountains, and that way our herd would grow in the summer. We'd get them off our land. And There was a shootout over a horse when I was a kid, and
There was a wait.
shootout?
There was a shootout. There was a shootout over a horse.
That's awesome.
yes, I mean Grimshaw, his
Between-
stallion kept breaking onto his neighbor's place, and his neighbor had to keep fixing the fence, and so finally the neighbor was like, you know what, I've earned your horse and fence. So he kept the stallion finally, and so Grimshaw went over there with a shotgun and said, I'm getting my horse back, and the other guy said, no, you're not. And there was a shootout, and Grimshaw got killed, and the other guy kept the horse. That's just how it is up there. Like, the police are like, well, the guy gets to keep the horse.
Yeah.
You know?